Everyone doubted the black boy standing in front of the millionaire in a wheelchair. Could this child really do what no doctor, no expert, and no machine could ever fix? The crowd in the luxurious penthouse lobby murmured as Ethan struggled to adjust his wheelchair after the latest attempt to show off his independence, the polished floors reflecting his expensive shoes and frustrated glare. He smirked, mocking his own weakness, and then spotted the boy leaning against the marble railing, quietly watching every movement. "Heal me for $1 million, kid," Ethan laughed loudly, his voice echoing off the glass walls, dripping with condescension. The room grew tense. Assistants shifted uncomfortably, unsure whether to intervene, while some secretly whispered racist comments about how a child like Kai could ever help a man of Ethan's stature. Kai's eyes met the millionaire's, calm and steady, as he stepped forward, ignoring the subtle sneers and outright smirks, ignoring the judgment that followed him wherever he went. Every movement mattered. Every second stretched like an eternity as Ethan rolled forward with difficulty, wincing, his muscles stiff, his pride bruised, and the arrogance in his smirk meeting the boy's quiet determination. "Do you even know what you're doing?" Ethan barked, his tone mixing amusement with challenge, hoping to humiliate Kai in front of the witnesses, to show that a rich, white man could not be helped by someone from a poor neighborhood, someone society would automatically dismiss. Kai knelt beside the wheelchair, hands steady, fingers moving precisely as he examined the wheels, the brakes, and the levers, calculating the tiniest adjustments needed to lift Ethan's balance and give him stability. Time slowed. The assistants held their breath, some secretly rooting for the boy, others pretending indifference, while Ethan's smile faded into curiosity and disbelief. In a matter of seconds, Kai had repositioned the wheelchair, tightened a bolt, adjusted the alignment, and helped Ethan lift himself upright without pain or struggle, the millionaire blinking, stunned at the impossibility of what had just occurred. You did it," Ethan stammered, his voice faltering, pride clashing with awe, the entire room silent except for the boy's calm, measured words. "I told you I could." The tension dissolved into shock, whispers of respect filling the space, some realizing how wrong they had been to judge, how racism and assumptions blinded them to real talent and courage. Ethan looked around at his staff, at the witnesses, and finally at Kai, eyes wide, chest rising and falling, a mixture of anger, awe, and respect battling inside him. And then he laughed softly, humbly this time, a sound of disbelief and admiration. That was incredible," he admitted, reaching into his pocket, but more importantly, looking at Kai as if seeing him for the first time, the arrogance replaced with acknowledgement, the room filled with an energy of changed perception, and in that moment, Kai smiled, quiet and proud, and the lesson was clear. Courage and skill are never defined by age, race, or wealth. If you respect Kai's bravery and intelligence, comment respect below, and don't forget to subscribe for more incredible stories. Ethan Blackwood sat upright in his wheelchair, still absorbing the miracle Kai Johnson had performed, his pride warring with astonishment as he realized the boy had done what no adult, no doctor, no specialist had managed. The air thick with tension and unspoken judgments from the gathered crowd, their whispers a mix of awe and disbelief, some still secretly doubting a black child could possess such skill, while others shifted uncomfortably, acknowledging that they had been wrong. Their racism and assumptions exposed in the most humiliating yet enlightening way. And Ethan's eyes, sharp and calculating, locked onto Kai as if trying to measure the depth of his talent and courage. A spark of respect flickering through his disbelief, while Kai remained calm, his small frame poised with quiet confidence, ignoring the stares, the sneers, and the subtle undercurrents of prejudice, understanding that actions spoke louder than words, that patience, intelligence, and skill could overturn even the strongest arrogance. And Ethan, who had mocked the boy moments ago, now felt an unfamiliar humility creeping into his chest. The $1 million challenge he had thrown as a joke, now proving that power, wealth, and status meant nothing when faced with genuine talent and courage, and the assistants and staff around them, many of whom had silently judged Kai from the start, now observed in stunned silence, some moving closer to congratulate, others hesitating, caught between envy and admiration, while Ethan's lips parted, his voice finally breaking through the tension, shaky yet sincere. "Kai, how did you do that so quickly?" Kai's calm reply, precise and measured, revealed only confidence, not arrogance. "I noticed the misalignment and applied the correct force and balance. It wasn't difficult once you understood the problem." The room seemed to freeze, the words echoing in the polished walls, and Ethan's mind raced, recalling the countless engineers, therapists, and specialists he had spent millions on, all failing to achieve what this boy had done in mere seconds, and the realization struck him harder than any injury ever could. He had underestimated a child because of his skin, his youth, and his quiet demeanor, and shame mingled with awe, transforming his pride into respect, a respect he had never felt before for anyone, let alone someone half his age, and he leaned slightly forward, extending a hand in a gesture that had previously been unthinkable for a man so used to commanding obedience. "Kai, I owe you more than words. You've shown me that I was wrong, that skill and courage are never bound by age, race, or status." Kai nodded politely, acknowledging the moment, aware that respect had been earned, not demanded, while the staff murmured among themselves, the lesson clear and undeniable. Some quietly whispering the word respect to each other, as if repeating it might cement the boy's extraordinary achievement into reality, and Ethan, his pride reshaped, smiled softly, inviting the others to witness what real talent looked like, finally appreciating that the smallest, most overlooked individuals could hold the power to change perception, challenge prejudice, and inspire even the most arrogant. And in that moment, the room transformed, the air charged with admiration, humility, and the unspoken promise of change. And as you witness Kai's courage and brilliance, comment respect below and make sure to subscribe for more stories that inspire awe and change. Ethan Blackwood could hardly believe his eyes as Kai Johnson's small hands moved with precision, dismantling, adjusting, and reassembling the intricate mechanism that had baffled the world's top engineers. And yet the millionaire's pride mixed with a gnawing curiosity, his mind racing to understand how someone so young, so underestimated, could accomplish what he had spent years failing to achieve, the room around them buzzing with whispers, some admiring, some envious, some silently chastising themselves for having doubted the boy based on his skin, his age, and his quiet demeanor, and Ethan's thoughts churned, realizing that every assumption he had made about Kai's abilities, every dismissive glance, every joke about the boy's youth and background had been a mistake, and he felt the sharp sting of humility, a feeling unfamiliar and almost unbearable for a man so used to commanding respect through wealth, influence, and reputation, while Kai, unfazed, continued to work methodically, his focus absolute, the air thick with anticipation as Ethan watched in awe, the millionaire's wheelchair slightly trembling as his hands clenched the sides, a mix of nervousness, pride and disbelief, and the staff around them, some leaning closer, some holding back, were collectively witnessing a quiet revolution, a boy rewriting expectations, shattering prejudices, and quietly demanding acknowledgement without uttering a boast, while Ethan's eyes reflected the change in him, a mix of admiration and guilt, and he thought of all the times he had underestimated others, the casual biases that had gone unchecked, the silent racism that lingered in even the most elite circles, and he realized that Kai's skill was more than mechanical. It was a lesson in courage, patience, and the power of seeing talent without judgment. And as the final piece clicked perfectly into place, the device hummed to life, smooth and flawless, and Ethan, feeling a surge of emotion he had long suppressed, leaned slightly forward, his voice breaking with sincerity and newfound respect. "Kai, you've not only done what I thought impossible, you've reminded me that greatness can come from anyone, anywhere, and that assumptions based on skin or age are worthless compared to talent and heart." And Kai, modest as ever, simply nodded, eyes calm and thoughtful, his quiet bravery commanding more respect than words could express, and Ethan's face softened, his pride reshaped, realizing that he would never again underestimate anyone, and he gestured for everyone to acknowledge the boy, to witness the humility of a man once untouchable being humbled by someone society had overlooked. And murmurs of admiration spread through the room as the word respect was whispered repeatedly, reinforcing the lesson that talent, courage, and integrity are universal. And Ethan's own respect for Kai radiated, touching even those who had doubted, while the millionaire, now deeply moved, finally extended his hand, inviting Kai to shake, a gesture heavy with gratitude and recognition. And as you witness Kai's unmatched skill, bravery, and the humility he inspires in the most powerful, comment respect below, and don't forget to subscribe for more stories that challenge perceptions and inspire true admiration. Ethan Blackwood sat in his wheelchair, staring at Kai Johnson, and felt a profound mix of disbelief, admiration, and humility as the boy's small hands had accomplished what the world's most brilliant engineers had failed to do. And yet the story didn't end with the device being fixed, because in that moment, Ethan realized that Kai's skill was not just mechanical, but extraordinary in its courage and intelligence. The kind of brilliance that demanded acknowledgement and respect, and Ethan's mind raced as he thought about all the times he had judged people by appearances, underestimated them because of age, race, or social status, and how many doors he himself had shut through arrogance, while Kai, unfazed by the millionaire's power or the lingering whispers of subtle racism from bystanders, had acted with humility, focus, and precision, reminding everyone in the room that true talent cannot be contained by prejudice. And the staff around them, some with wide eyes, others whispering quietly, began to murmur about the boy's abilities, their prior assumptions crumbling like fragile walls, while Ethan's heart, often armored by wealth and pride, softened as he recognized the courage it took for Kai to step into a world where adults constantly doubted him. And he saw the injustice of dismissing talent because of skin color or age, the casual racism that had lingered in boardrooms, workshops, and elite circles, suddenly exposed in stark contrast to the boy's undeniable competence. And Ethan's voice, strong yet trembling, echoed through the room, commanding attention. Kai, what you've done today is more than skill. It's a lesson for all of us, a reminder that greatness comes without warning and often from those we least expect. And Kai, modest and calm, nodded, a quiet smile breaking the tension as the room filled with awe and whispers of admiration, while the millionaire slowly leaned forward, extending his hand, and offered not just gratitude but recognition, a gesture of equality, a signal that respect is earned by courage, intelligence, and heart rather than power or wealth. And as Kai shook Ethan's hand, the room seemed to shift, barriers of judgment falling silently around them, the once proud and impatient millionaire now humbled, deeply aware of the boy's extraordinary ability and character, while bystanders, witnesses to this profound moment, realized that assumptions based on race, age, or status could never replace true observation and acknowledgement. And the energy in the room became electric, filled with inspiration, understanding, and a shared sense of morality. And as you witness Kai's courage, brilliance, and the humility he inspires even in the most powerful, comment respect below. Share your admiration for the boy's unmatched talent, and subscribe for more incredible stories that challenge prejudices and celebrate true heroism.